I'm going to be talking about big tech and the weaponization of big tech in our society. And it has proven over the last 3 years, especially, to be a weapon that tyrants use to take away our right to speak and our right for others to hear what we have to say. And I'm going to show you how big tech has been weaponized. I can't cover everything in this short presentation, but I'm going to be showing you a lot today. But I also want to tell you that big tech doesn't need to be used as a weapon of destruction and of tyranny. It can be used for a weapon of peace and enlightenment and so many good things. Those of us who got to experience the freedom of the internet over the last 20 years before they started censoring and shutting everybody down, there was so much growth and learning, and we're learning new ideas for medical care and new ideas for technology. I mean, it was such an exhilarating time. Big tech can be behind that. Big tech, the employees at big tech are smart, and most of them are kind. They know what's right. They know what they're part of, and they know they can make this a great place for everyone. So when I talk about big tech being weaponized, I just want people to realize that it doesn't need to be this way, and that all people in big tech are not bad. Most of them are really good people, and they can be part of this solution. So I'm going to first talk about the Twitter files and what the Twitter files brought to light. The Twitter files brought to light that there was collusion amongst players, including our government agencies, which we're talking, our health, HHS, we're talking about the White House, we're talking about Congress, we're talking about all aspects of our government. NGOs, which unfortunately has been used as a way for politicians to claim that they're not unduly influencing corporations and other people by hiding behind NGOs. It's a major flaw in our system. It's a blight on humanity, how NGOs are used. It's non-government organizations. Instead of using it for good, which it should have been intended for, it's been used as a weapon as well, and to funnel money through these organizations to do activities that is illegal for the government to do. We have academia, very sad to watch academia go from a bastion of free speech and where ideas flourish to a place where students are afraid to talk. They're afraid to talk to their professors because otherwise they won't get an A. I'm telling you, there are so many students that just work hard to figure out what the professor wants to hear and regurgitates it to them, because if they don't say exactly what the professor wants, they won't get a good grade. They didn't learn anything from that. They learned that the professor was a jerk and that they're closed-minded and that this isn't a place of learning. But I need a degree because I need to get a job, so they go through it. But I'm telling you, so many students are afraid to speak, afraid for ideas to flourish. You can't learn in an environment where you are not able to speak. Mass media has been weaponized against the people. In 2012, the Smith-Mudd Act was reformed. It was changed. What it did is allowed propaganda to be legally used against the people. The same propaganda that we use overseas, all governments use propaganda against the people. We use it in Russia, we use it in China, we use it in the Middle East, we use it everywhere. Every government does that to us. So when they said there was Russian propaganda, yeah, there probably was. Not sure how much of it there was compared to how much American propaganda there was in this country. But what happened is our propaganda during 2012 was allowed to now be used against the American people. So your tax money is being used for propaganda against the American people. It used to be that you had to tell the American people the truth. Now they can lie to you and do propaganda against you legally. That's what the Smith-Mudd Act did. That needs to be changed. Philanthropy. We have people with different agendas, different goals. They were influencing what was going on with these Twitter files. We have George Soros. We have other big donors. George Soros is the big one. I mean, he gave $50 million to the ACLU back in 2012. And they used to be the bastion of free speech. They fought for free speech across the country. Notice how they're completely silent now. They're a shell of what they used to be. It's a very sad situation because they were a champion of enlightenment. Now they're just a tool for the tyrants. They, in 2012, put out articles saying that changing the Smith-Mudd Act, i.e. doing propaganda against the American people, is great for freedom of speech. That was the ACLU after they got $50 million from George Soros. That's not the ACLU that many Democrats know, because freedom of speech was always a bastion of the Democratic Party. Many of the Democrats believed, like the ACLU believed, that even if I don't believe what you believe, even if I can't stand you, I still believe in your right to say what you have to say. That's what Democrats believed. Not anymore, unfortunately. And that's what we have found in the Twitter files. That's what we saw in Congress when the journalists went in front of Congress in the Jim Jordan's weaponization of government. We saw that the Democrats no longer believed in freedom of speech. And that's such a disappointment. The other area was the intelligence community. The intelligence community was weaponized against the people. The FBI was the one telling the big tech organizations to take down content. They paid Twitter $3 million at least. That's what's been uncovered so far, to take down content. We know that Zuckerberg, the CEO of Facebook, told in a podcast that he was told by the FBI to take down content, not illegal content, not unlawful content, but content they didn't like for political reasons, for government narrative reasons. That's against the First Amendment. That is very, very clearly illegal in this country, and they did it anyways. Big tech, and this is what most of this presentation is about, is how big tech has been weaponized. Twitter is part of big tech. They're using big tech as their tools to censor the masses, to censor all of us. Yeah, it's happening in academia. It's happening elsewhere in your businesses. You're feeling it. But big tech is one of their major weapons that they're using to do this. So who is big tech, and what are they using, and how did they do this? Because it involves all of them. We're talking Alphabet, which is Google and YouTube. We're talking Facebook. We're talking Amazon. We're talking Spotify. We're talking PayPal and the payment processors that are online. We're talking Twitter. And thank God that the information is coming out in Twitter. No matter what you think of Elon Musk or any of these people, you got to look at what the facts are and ignore the politics, because for some reason, freedom of speech has turned into I don't know. Well, you're a far right wing nut if you believe in freedom of speech. What happened? What happened? So who are the big tech companies, and what are we talking about?